The ATF could be in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Hear me out, I'm going to explain why. First, I want to thank the sponsor of the video, that's Browns over in Grinnell, Iowa. I just got back, I was over there for a couple days. I built my dream rifle. Stay tuned for more information on that. And also wanted to tell you that they're having their early Black Friday deals. Can't really do the link thing, but if you use code GNG10 while you shop there, you can save money on early Black Friday deals. Also, they have the annual Brownells Dixon flannel. Got mine while I was out there. And like I said, use code GNG10. It works on most items there. All right, ATF in trouble. Why? Well, a lot of people came out and voted, and there is a huge mandate to have things drastically change. We know that the ATF has been destroyed legally by the Supreme Court and other courts in the federal system for their overreach under the previous three administrations if you count Obama. And we're in a scenario here where people are like, hey Jared, what about Brandon Herrera? Why haven't we heard anything yet? What I can tell you is that the appointees for the director of the ATF, as well as the director of the FBI for that matter, are historically some of the last appointments made. Why? Well, the first appointments are the cabinet. The cabinet, the president's cabinet, is now set as far as nominees. They all need to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate, and those meetings and questions are ongoing right now. But I'm told that Brandon Herrera is in the running, and there's a good chance that he might be nominated as the ATF director. As I'm told that Kash Patel is more than likely going to be the nominee for the director of the FBI. Two solid picks. We know what Brandon Herrera has said. He said he will whittle away and cut and slash from inside and then ultimately recommend that the ATF be abolished by the president. To that, here comes the other side that is good. Last Congress, Matt Gaetz, he dropped this bill. It's H.R. 374, and it's entitled Abolish the ATF. Now that bill is very short, so I'll read it to you. It says, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is hereby abolished. And Matt Gaetz was going to resubmit that bill in this next session of Congress, which begins on January 3rd, 2025. We know that Matt Gaetz has resigned and is not going back into Congress. He was reelected, but he's choosing not to go back because of his issues, is my assumption. I don't know Matt, but I do know that he watches the channel. So Matt, best of luck to you. I wish you would have stuck around, man, because you were a disruptor, and that's what we need. But another person has stepped forward to foster some good stuff. Eric Burleson, he's the representative out of Missouri, and he has said that on day one of Congress, January 3rd, 2023, he is submitting the bill Abolish the ATF.
Hey, I'm Congressman Eric Burleson, and my first day in office, I filed a bill to repeal the National Firearms Act. In addition, I co-sponsored a bill by my good friend Matt Gaetz to abolish the ATF. He's leaving the vacuum behind. Well, I'm happy to announce right now that I'm stepping in, and in January, I will be filing the bill that Matt Gaetz sponsored to abolish the ATF. Why? Because we're fighting for you.
It's the same one that Matt Gaetz submitted. What they do is they're pretty much just reprinted, and his name will be on it as the submitting party. Now, Eric Burleson is no newbie to trying to get rid of the ATF. Last session, he submitted a bill to disband the National Firearms Act, the NFA, which is something we all want. We know that there are groups that have been speaking with the transition team and the president's team to do just that, to talk some sense into these people, saying there's no reason, especially yesterday with the number of suppressors, the numbers came out with the number of suppressors that are out there. It is clearly in common use. It is not a firearm. It is just hearing protection. So why is it regulated like it's a gun? It doesn't do anything evil or bad, doesn't even dispel a projectile on its own. It's just a muffler. So there was also going to be bills resubmitted in the first couple of weeks of, hopefully day one, of this new Congress to pull the short-barreled rifles and short-barreled shotguns out of the NFA. So there is movement. Now the question comes down to, will there be enough support in the Republican-controlled House of Representatives and the Republican-controlled United States Senate, and will Donald Trump be willing to disrupt like he said he's willing to do? You know, when it comes to the Second Amendment issues, I have the same concerns you do. He's made mistakes. He has made statements addressing that and how he is going to change, but his pick for Attorney General, if you watched my video yesterday pinned above, has brought back some concern from the Second Amendment community, rightfully so. Pam Red Flag Bondi is not really a solid pick when it comes to defending the Second Amendment or restoring the Second Amendment.
Florida's Attorney General Pam Bondi joins us now. Ma'am, Attorney General, can you tell us exactly what Florida has done? Not what you're debating, not what you're thinking about. What concrete action has been taken?
Well, it's in the process of being taken, Stuart. It is on the floor of the Senate today at 10 o'clock, and then it will be in the House for final passage either Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're in the very final stages. And what that bill includes is Governor Scott, Rick Scott, has become a champion of this. He brought all sides together. You know, in a time of crisis, it's about finding common ground, and that's what Governor Scott's done. So this is a comprehensive package. It's $450 million. And Speaker Negron and Speaker Corcoran and Senate President Negron support this, and it's been a great act of everyone coming together. It's $450 million. What it does is it provides school security. It's going to ensure that every school in Florida is much safer, infrastructure, everything that we need to keep our schools safe. Okay. It's going to provide law enforcement officers for every 1,000 students, a school resource officer. And that was something that was lacking in our state, as well as mental health, which is huge. It has a gun violence restraining order in there. It raises the age of purchasing an assault rifle to 21, and it's banning bump stocks.
Okay, now that's a comprehensive approach. I got it. And that's what you're about to do that. Now, yes. There are 24 states that are pushing bills that would allow for guns to be taken away from people who are judged mentally unfit. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know whether Florida is one of those states, but what do you think about that kind of move?
Well, here's what we're doing in Florida, because we have to have due process, of course, for those who have been civilly committed. And my office, we've done all the legal research, and here's what our proposal is in Florida. It's called the Gun Violence Restraining Order. And so, Stuart, if you're civilly committed, in Florida it's called a Baker Act, what will happen is law enforcement can and should automatically remove any firearms, because that shows you're a danger to yourself or others when you're civilly committed. Then after someone is released from civil commitment, law enforcement will have 72 hours to go before a judge and ask the judge if they choose to hold those guns even longer if they feel that the person is, again, a threat to themselves or to others.
Okay. You've been in the room in the White House when the president was having an open, free-for-all discussion, both sides of the aisle involved. Mm-hmm. I think, this is my opinion now, I think that has made a significant difference in the gun debate. And you were in the room.
Yeah, I was, Stuart. You know, I was also in the room for a very private meeting recently that the president had with families from Texas, from Sandy Hook, from, of course, Parkland. And he truly cares. And again, this is about finding common ground. That's why nothing ever gets done in Congress, in my opinion. People are so polarized to one side or the other. And, we just experienced a traumatic school shooting in Florida. And it's finding common ground, something that both sides can agree on. And President Trump has been just amazing, listening to these families and really being a mediator, I think, with Congress. And hopefully Congress will follow Florida's lead and what Governor Scott's been doing here in Florida, and all of us working so well together.
Pam Bondi, Attorney General of the state of Florida, thank you very much for being with us this morning. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Stuart.
So there's a lot of things going on, but there is a movement to attack the ATF. How big of a reduction will it be? We know that the House last session, which is ending in a couple weeks, this session technically, they defunded a large portion of the ATF's purse, which angered the Biden administration, and they were putting forth bills to increase that funding and didn't really go anywhere. But they did squeak out something at the end in an omnibus where there was funding for those three-letter agencies. Keep your eyes open. There's a lot of angles where the new incoming Republican Party is looking to slash the ATF and the FBI for things that they've done. Both of them have done and done unconstitutionally. So I'm told there's going to be a strong effort to do this. Whether we get the support in the legislature or not remains to be seen, but a lot of that comes down to how much pressure you and I put on these clowns. The clowns that say, I support the Second Amendment, but we do know there are some solid supporters in the House and the Senate, but there are a lot less of those than people who grandstand and say, I support you guys and gals, I am a hunter. And then, like Waltz can't even load in his damn shotgun. So I'll let you know more as I hear it, as the things start to swell coming after the holiday here, as January approaches us with our new Congress. Guys and gals, there's a serious attempt to affect some of the backdoor gun control and unconstitutional measures done by the bureaucracy of the ATF and the FBI. So let me know what you think below. What would your suggestions be? I think it needs to be done a specific way. I think you need to, like this perfect world, like I got a genie and I rub the genie. This is my thing. All right. First, you need to abolish the NFA before you abolish the ATF. Why? Because if you abolish the ATF and the NFA is still sticking around, who's going to process everything, that backlog that still exists, right? You think the FBI is going to mosey on over and just take over their job? So perfect world, NFA, screw you. And then since there's nothing under the NFA, ideal world, then you bounce the ATF and hopefully Brandon gets in, slashes from within like he said he will. And there's a lot of things the director can do. It doesn't need any consent from Congress. Everything that they reinterpret or change rules, he can change that day one. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you in the loop. Subscribe to this channel if you want to stay in the know. Check out Brownells, phenomenal people. Stay in the loop on that build. There will be more information coming out on that. You're not going to want to miss the announcements. Take care, y'all. Have a great day.